New Jeep CEO Antonio Filosa has had enough. The car titans have made it their mission to shut down their EV plants for good with this shocking news. Gas prices have suddenly become more affordable, leading to gas-powered cars to become the new trend again. But the Biden administration isn't going to let this go that easily, especially when Donald Trump promises to change the market completely if he comes to power. Are EVs a huge scam? And what is the shocking news by the Jeep CEO? Will Donald Trump's promise to change the EV market make him the next president? Well, here's what has happened. Carlos Tavares, CEO of Stellantis, which includes brands like Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler, and Ram, has expressed concerns about the availability of raw materials needed for electric vehicles. He stated that there may not be enough lithium, cobalt, and nickel to meet the demand for EVs, which are crucial components in their batteries. Tavares emphasized that the transition to clean mobility will require significant quantities of these raw materials, especially considering the need to replace the 1.3 billion gas-powered vehicles currently on the roads. With over 1 billion gas guzzlers on the road crying out for an eco-friendly makeover, that's a whole lot of batteries we're going to need. Additionally, Tavares highlighted potential geopolitical issues arising from the concentration of lithium mining, suggesting that such concerns could further complicate the supply chain for EV batteries. Despite these challenges, Stellantis has ambitious plans for electrification. The company aims to invest heavily in developing plug-in models and has announced partnerships, including a $2.5 billion investment with Samsung to build its first EV battery factory in Indiana by early 2025. Furthermore, Stellantis aims to sell 5 million electric vehicles annually globally by 2030. However, Tavares has raised concerns about the affordability and volatility of raw materials, suggesting that these factors could delay the widespread adoption of EVs. He believes that some markets may not yet be conducive to EV sales due to these challenges and the lack of infrastructure. But that's not all. Jeep may be all in for investments just to jump onto the bandwagon of innovation, but they just got hit big time with the harsh reality, and this time it's their sister company Stellantis. Stellantis is hitting the brakes on a manufacturing plant in Illinois, leaving over 1,300 employees in limbo. Why? Well, they're pointing fingers at the skyrocketing costs of going electric. According to Stellantis, the challenges of electrifying their lineup are stacking up faster than a rush-hour traffic jam. From the ongoing COVID-19 chaos to the global microchip shortage, it's been a rough ride for the auto industry. But the real kicker, it's those electric dreams that are really draining the tank. They're not alone in this struggle, though. Ford made similar moves a while back, showing that the winds of change are blowing through Detroit and beyond. It's like they say, out with the old, in with the electric, but it's not exactly smooth sailing. And while Stellantis stays tight-lipped about their next moves, rumors are swirling that they're eyeing Mexico for their Cherokee production. But hey, nothing's set in stone yet. It's all just speculation. But hold on, folks, because there's more to this story. Over in Ohio, workers at a GM LG battery cell facility just gave the green light to unionization. It's like a power surge of change rippling through the industry. And let's not forget about those calls for higher wages from unions worldwide. Stellantis might be raking in the cash, but workers are demanding their fair share of the pie. But how does higher wages demanded from unions worldwide affect the politicians? Fun fact is, it doesn't. The Biden administrations have shown the world that they do not care about the high prices of EVs. All they care about is their greed and desire to cash this market. Oh, and also for the environment. So, here's the scoop. Some folks out there think President Biden and his crew are living in la-la land, especially when it comes to electric vehicles. They're calling out these big plans to push EVs on folks, saying it's like trying to make everyone wear shoes that don't fit. Biden's been tooting his horn about how they're splashing billions of taxpayer dollars to revamp car factories and scatter electric charging stations like confetti at a parade. But the funny thing here is they're saying it's all for working families and creating top-notch jobs. Some are raising their eyebrows and saying, "Hey, wait a minute." They reckon this whole electric car gig is a bumpy road that most Americans can't navigate. It's like trying to sell ice to an Eskimo. It just doesn't add up. While President Biden enjoys the millions he makes through the sale of these EVs, It turns out that reality might have a different tune. Brace yourself, because over 3,000 auto dealers are finally speaking out. Ford, GM, Chrysler, Volkswagen, they've all been hit hard. Thousands of workers have been handed pink slips, and it's not because they were throwing a party. Nope, it's because demand for electric vehicles has hit rock bottom. Ford even spilled the beans, admitting they're bleeding $4.5 billion this year in their electric vehicle business. Ouch! And it's not just a local issue, we're talking global here. Biden's electric vehicle mandate has sent shockwaves through the industry, leaving a whopping 80,000 jobs in the dust. So much for job creation, right? But it seems like Team Biden is sticking to their guns, even in the face of some pretty inconvenient truths. The latest move from the EPA, they want a whopping 50% of new car sales to be all electric by 2030. And get this, auto dealers are getting in on the action. They're sitting on stacks of electric vehicles and they're begging the administration to hit the pause button, at least for a minute, which is where our hero, former President Donald Trump, comes in and changes the entire game. Trump's campaign continues to fire shots at President Biden's electric vehicle mandate. According to them, the only way forward for UAW members is to scrap the whole thing, like completely. In a bold statement, the Trump campaign didn't mince words. They're saying, hey, Biden's EV mandate, total disaster. Let's hit the reset button ASAP. And get this, they're promising action. President Trump is supposedly itching to get back into the Oval Office and make this repeal happen on day one. Looks like someone is looking forward to that gold star sticker on their coat collar. And while Trump may denounce EVs, many lawmakers in his party are capitalizing on these investments and welcoming the transition. More than half of new clean energy projects announced since passage of the IRA have been located in GOP-led districts. Talk about being a bunch of hypocrites. But hey, these statements have made him famous amongst multiple car dealers who are now inches away from giving their votes to Trump and having the orange-colored American come into power for a second time. While Donald Trump runs for presidential elections, Jeep runs to call more than 30,000 Jeep Wrangler 4xe back to their plants in a shocking big move. But more on that in a moment. According to the latest buzz, EVs are running into all sorts of trouble. From technical glitches to performance hiccups, it seems like they're hitting more bumps in the road than we bargained for. From range anxiety to seeing your car battery die faster than the new iPhone 16. Yes, the electric dream has really done a number when it comes to its problems. While most EVs can cover daily driving distances comfortably, longer trips or extreme weather conditions may necessitate frequent charging stops. The cold weather also makes the battery of your EV fall faster. And it doesn't end there. EV charging presents complexities with varying pricing structures and inconsistent rates, posing challenges for consumers accustomed to standardized gasoline pricing. Service and maintenance for EVs can be costlier, primarily due to a shortage of trained technicians and competition among repair shops. While EVs require less maintenance overall, replacement of expensive components like battery packs can drive up costs. So you better be ready to pay $40,000 for a simple oil change, or in other words, a battery change. And let's not talk about the battery problem that has forced Jeep to urgently call in over 30,000 of their Wrangler 4xe back from the dealerships. Jeep just dropped the bombshell with recall B9A for the Wrangler 4xe, and it's not something to take lightly. They're talking about a potential fire risk with the 4xe's battery. And until they sort things out, they're advising owners to hit the brakes on charging their cars and to keep them parked outside, far away from other vehicles. Stellantis, Jeep's parent company, is taking action after acknowledging 8 instances of 4xe battery fires, with 6 happening during charging. They're recalling just over 42,000 4xes, mainly in the US, although they believe only a small fraction of them are at risk. The fix? Well, it's not rocket science. New software gets loaded onto the car, and if any issues pop up later, they might need to swap out the whole battery. Easy peasy, right? So, if you're a proud Wrangler 4xe owner, it might be time to roll out your big boy and take it to the closest dealership and get it inspected. since any risk of a battery fire is no joke. In a world where reality often feels like a punchline, it's no surprise that even the biggest players can stumble. Jeep's electric adventure, once seen as the summit of success, turned into a rocky road with a massive recall of over 30,000 cars due to battery issues. Talk about a shocker. And let's not forget the ongoing drama surrounding raw materials, painting a bleak picture of uncertainty ahead. If you think the world's gone topsy-turvy, you might just be onto something. But hey, amidst the chaos, there's always room for a glimmer of hope, because the prices of EVs have fallen, so you better run to the dealership and empty your life savings.